Okay, we're now at the Bloodstock Festival with Alan Williams. Now, you are the man behind, the artist behind the bust that contains Lemmy's ashes that was unveiled this weekend.
That is correct, yeah.
So tell us a bit about the bust. How did you get involved in this?
So Vicky Hungerford from Bloodstock, she got in touch with me back in March and just sort of said, can you do a Lemmy? And I was like, obviously I've never done one before, but I'm sure I can, sort of deliver on it. Now I sort of work in sort of scrap metal, sort of motorbike parts, engine parts, mechanical salvage, that kind of thing. And they were very specific. Motorhead management were like, we want a real life likeness of Lemmy circa 81 to 84. Very specific brief. And I thought, I can go so far with kind of the scrap materials, with sort of creating the artwork I do, but to actually try and create an actual life likeness, I decided to go for a sculpt and a cast. So to cast the face, actually, I made the sort of homage up to Stoke-on-Trent, where Lemmy was born, because for me, the whole process of making this sculpture was a sort of a bit of a personal journey as well, which I've kind of documented. And in a few months' time, I'll put everything together and sort of make it into something.
Yeah.
So I went to his birthplace to kind of get the face cast. And the guys at the foundries were just like, oh yeah, we know this guy, local lad, So everyone that's been involved in this project, obviously I sort of produced it and I'm the artist behind it, but there's been a lot of people sort of that I've had to liaise with and kind of have helped make it happen. And they've all been like, top people. A lot of Motorhead fans, luckily. I went to Harley Davidson and sort of like got parts from them. And they were like, yeah, for Lemmy, right? Yeah, help yourself to our scrap bins, So they were really good and forthcoming. The guys at the casting foundries, there's been so many sort of helpful people along the process. A lot of the time that people are like, it's like 6 to 8 weeks turnaround for this process and that process, and I'm like, we don't have time, So everyone's helped to sort of rush it through, and I've done a lot of running around as well as kind of building the bust as well itself. So, and everyone that's in it, that were close to Lem and involved in his life, that they've all kind of. I got the thumbs up from everyone. Phil Campbell, he was dead chuffed with it. He reckons it's possibly the best one he's seen so far. So that's kind of a big exhale relief for me as an artist. I feel like I kind of I can bow out now. It's like
the pleasure is to blame. Ain't no difference what you say. I don't say green. The only card I need is the ace of spades.
Most of my work is kind of like birds of prey, octopuses, kind of aquatic life, and so a lot of natural sort of nature and things like that represented in my work. So to do a lifelike figurative sort of piece of a person, it's quite sort of new. It was kind of new territory slightly to me. So, sort of sourcing the materials, like I say, sort of Harley Davidson. There's parts of aeroplanes in there. There's I was kind of going for heavy metal. There's tank parts in there as well. These top pockets are Challenger 2 tank. They're the end cup links for the tracks. So because I know Lemmy was a big sort of war memorabilia sort of fan. So I tried to get some of that in there. Everything's very heavy metal, industry based. All his hair's made out of shears and spanners, and where possible I leave sort of the logos and branding of those sort of tools, so you can sort of see it becomes apparent what they're used from. So the materials are very sort of relevant to the piece. Heavy metal, lots of motor parts. All kind of it sort of works in conjunction with itself.
And were you a Motorhead fan before this? Was this part of the discovery? I guess this is what you were alluding to with putting a documentary out. Presumably, the enjoyment not only for you is in creating this, but the research and the history and making sure that, like you say, there are bits of tank in there that Lemmy was part of. So that must have been very interesting learning of trail of discovery for yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up a life of sort of like rock and metal. Do you know what I mean? So like. I felt I was kind of the right person for the job in a way, you know. And I'd known a lot about Lemmy and his life before that, and he was such a personable person. Everyone you chat to that had either met him or known him, and even even the fans and people that didn't know him, everyone knew him. Do you know what I mean? There was such a genuine sort of genuality that sort of came through with his persona. Yeah, it's just undeniably just. He's just a fucking legend. Sorry, you have to explain that bit out.
Ain't no hope in hell, nothing gonna bring us down. The way we fly, 5 miles off the ground. Because we shoot to kill, and you know we always will. It's a bomber, it's a bomber. Scream 1,000 miles, hear the Black Death, the rising moan.
And you've incorporated into there's part of his ashes incorporated into this, aren't
Yeah. So that was a big deal, you know, especially when I was making that kind of that area of the sculpture, you know, and sort of thinking, wow, it was a big deal for me as a sculptor. It's a very prestigious kind of thing to do, and there were times where I was kind of like, you know, the sort of goose hairs on my arms were kind of like sticking up, and you know, also when you're creating something of a piece of a memorial piece of someone, they're there with you a lot of the time, you know, whether it's sort of taking the mick or, you know, whether they like it or don't like it, you know, there's this sort of inner dialogue you have, which is quite an interesting part of the process as well, you know, slightly unexpected sometimes.
So when were the ashes actually interned within the sculpture?
So Phil Campbell on stage yesterday at the unveiling. So it's a lockable safe. It's all sealed within the sculpture. Phil was there and he sort of placed the ashes inside. And special moment. Yeah, really special.
And this is on display throughout this weekend, but then where's it going to be? You'll be able to see it later after this festival?
Yeah, so on Monday from Bloodstock there's a Hells Angels procession with the sculpture to take it to Rock City in Nottingham, where they've built a specially designed cabinet where it's going to be on permanent display to the public. So again, it's for me as an artist to have something prestigiously displayed like that is it's kind of pretty prestigious. Yeah.
It's amazing. And what's next for you then after this? Have you got other projects coming up?
I'm artist for hire, do you know what I mean? I'll take anything on and try anything. There's nothing I wouldn't say no to, you know. So I'm always up for a challenge. I mean, past sort of commissions, I've got stuff permanent display in like the Arab Emirates and sort of all over the world, some public art pieces and things. But I do think, big, small, everything else. So next on, I'm probably going to make some more octopuses and some birds because that's my fallback really. But check them out on the website. www.alanwilliamsmetalartist.com.
The only thing you see